Hey, my name is David, and I'm going to do a review of the Fujifilm Instax SQ20. You may be wondering why I'm sitting next to the Mini 90. I'm doing a review of the SQ20, but we'll get to that later. I recently purchased the SQ20, and after initial excitement, I ended up being very disappointed and sending the camera back. So what were my initial impressions? I did an unboxing video. I'll link to that in the description below. There were some things right off the bat that I didn't really care for. The first one was being the tripod mount. It didn't have a tripod mount. I was going to use a different cell phone mount to try to get through that. I was willing to work through it. Another thing was that the camera was a little awkward. It just didn't feel right in my hands. I couldn't get a hold of it. But all in all, neither one of those two were deal breakers. Alright, so let's get into the high hopes I had for the Fujifilm SQ20. I love instant film photography. I've been doing it for a couple months now. It was a new way for me to experiment and to mess around with photography. I've been doing digital for a while, and I really just wanted to broaden my horizons and getting into film. Traditional film is quite costly. You got to get a new body, developing gear, and learn a whole new craft. And I just didn't have the commitment ready for that. So I decided to take up instant film as an alternative to digital. And I was pretty excited about the hybrid aspect of the SQ20, where you get to shoot some digital and then it has the printer on it, and then you can print what you like. I have a 3-year-old son. I was really looking forward to getting some good photos of him, just messing around, playing, having fun, and then not having to worry about going through a whole box of film trying to get some good photos of him. I do have some good photos of him. They're on the blog. But I've had some that were worse than worse, and I had to throw them away. And that's kind of one of the things when it comes to instant film. With the SQ20, I was looking forward to not having to do that. Just take a photo. If I didn't like it, delete it, and if I did, print it. Another thing I was looking forward to was the square film that the SQ20 used. I actually bought this pack. I never even got to use it before I sent it back. It's similar to the old Polaroid. It's not the same size, but it's the same format. It's a very popular form of print, and I was looking forward to using it. But now I have this box of 20 exposures, never been used. One day I think I'm going to get the SQ6, but that's ways down the road. For right now, the only thing I can think of to do that is to give it to one of you guys. So if you let me know in the comments below what your favorite Instax camera is, and what your favorite square film Instax camera is, leave a comment, like the video, and in a little while I'll go ahead and pick a random winner. There are some technical YouTube giveaway sweepstakes rules, but I think I have like 7 subscribers, so I don't think it's a real big deal. So just give it a little bit of time, and hopefully one of you guys are able to win. Alright, so let's get into why I returned it. Ultimately, I just did not like the camera. I did have high hopes for it, but it didn't grow on me at all. I was really hoping it would. So first things first, it was awkward, kind of just like shooting with this box of film. I didn't like it. It was awkward. I was willing to work through it, but willing to learn, but I couldn't do it. It was awkward. A second is it did not have a viewfinder. The Mini 90 does have a viewfinder through here. It's a little off center from where the actual lens is. But the digital LCD screen on the SQ20 wasn't very reliable, wasn't very realistic when you see it. It had to be straight on to get a good view of it. So if you're trying to hold it up high or hold it down low or even shoot around a corner, it was real hard to make out what the screen was showing. So I didn't like that. I really wanted just to have a viewfinder and look through it. It's a comfort thing. I understand that, but that's what I preferred. Initially, I was not too worried about the LCD screen. Today, most DSLRs have an LCD screen and they work perfect. Not so with the SQ20. It just wasn't reliable enough for me, and I couldn't get a clear enough picture of what was actually going on in the frame. The third one, I mentioned before, I mentioned in the unboxing video, no tripod mount. One of my favorite things I was looking forward to trying with the camera was bulb mode. Bulb mode, if you don't know, is you set the camera down, you hold the shutter open, the shutter stays open for as long as you hold it. With the SQ20, it's 10 seconds, and the exposure just goes on. If there's any camera shake, any movement at all, they'll be blurry. So the tripod is actually critical. I was willing to try to work through that, put it on some books, old school style, maybe on a brick, something. But I was very disappointed, and it was weird that they did not have a tripod mount with it. The SQ10 did have a tripod mount, and it seems like a silly thing that would be left off on the SQ20. Fourth, there is no removable battery. The Mini 90, the SQ10, they both have removable batteries with an external charger. You pull the battery out, you charge it like you normally would. But with the SQ20, it was more like the iPhone. It's tethered to the wall. So if you're going on a trip, which the hybrid camera would be perfect for, because you don't have to take a bunch of film with you. If you had the SQ20, you would have to charge it and make sure it's charged. And I think it was rated for a couple hours worth of shooting. The fifth thing I didn't like about the SQ20 was the focus modes. The Mini 90 has 3 focus modes: macro, macro, landscape, and then normal. And the SQ20 had a standard one. It was f2.4, which is a good aperture for portraits. However, the focus distance was 4 feet, which is pretty far. If you want to fill the frame with somebody and get a good portrait of them, you're going to need to be closer than 4 feet. And then if you're wanting to be taking landscape photos, you're going to be farther than 4 feet. It was 4 feet to infinity, so you would be able to get a lot of the background in that in focus, but not having the controls over the focus really hinders creativity. With the Mini 90, you can stop down the aperture for the macro. You can bump it up for the landscape, and then just keep it in normal. And then each one of those, the focus distance actual changes too. The macro is like 4 feet, 3 feet, where if you touch them, you're in macro. Scoot back, you're in normal, and then scoot back even more, and you're in landscape. The SQ20 didn't have any of these, which I was really hoping for, because then you could take good portraits. And then also with me taking photos of my son, it'd give you opportunity to get a different variety of shots that were taken. All right, so let's get into who the SQ20 is for. If you noted the concerns I had above, the no tripod mount, the battery, the focus modes, the LCD screen, the awkward, and you still want the SQ20, here's some people that the SQ20 would be good for. The first one, it would be collectors. If you collect Fujifilm Instax film cameras and you just absolutely have to have the newest and the best Instax camera, then yeah, this camera is for you. Go ahead and get it and add it to your collection. Another group of people that the SQ20 would be good for would be absolute beginners. If you're an absolute beginner, you have very little understanding or knowledge of what's going on with the camera, the SQ20 would be perfect for you, because it's a hybrid. It's a digital, and then it's got an Instax printer. So if you take a photo and it's bad, you can delete it. No harm, no foul. Whereas with the Mini 90, you take a photo, you're getting an exposure, which that's about $1. With the SQ20, you could take it, you could practice, you could recompose, get the shot you want, and then take the photo and then print it. So you got a little trial and error there. If you're a beginner, it's a perfect camera for you. Another group of people would be if you just want a hybrid camera. There are some good printers out there where you can just print right from your cell phone, but if you want a hybrid camera, the SQ20 is a hybrid camera, and it would be a good camera for you. Another group of people that the SQ20 would be good for would be people that absolutely require the new feature on the SQ20, which was to be able to record 15 seconds worth of video, not audio, just video. And then from that 15 seconds, you could actually go through each individual frame, find the photo you want, print it, and go from there. If that is a feature you absolutely need to have, the SQ20 is for you, because it is not on the SQ10. All right, let's get to the Mini 90. The Mini 90, I think, is a better camera. I'm going to do some videos in the future about it, on tutorials on how to use it, how to use bold mode, double exposures, how to take good portraits with it, off-camera flash with it. I'm going to do an entire video series all around the Mini 90. If you want to stay up to date on what those are, be sure to hit that subscribe and that notification bell, and then when I post new videos, you'll be notified right away. Be sure to leave a comment below what square film camera you have, what your favorite Instax camera is, and then leave that comment, and then in a couple of months I'll go ahead and send this box out to you. I'll get a hold of one of you and send this box of film out to you. Thanks. Bye.